hello and hot summer to my Just Be family. I've got a new project I'm working on. I wanted to cover some cushions that I had on my patio furniture that was faded and looking bad. And to price them in the big box stores and online was so expensive. We're talking about a couple $100 to get the colors that you want. So I decided to create my own. So I got the idea to go to Lowe's and purchase painter's drop cloth. That's a large canvas cloth that painters use to catch paint when they're painting. And I decided to tape it off with intermittent spaces and different size painter's tape. And I was going to paint it the colors that I wanted. And the colors I desired was a burgundy and a red for it to pop out on my patio, because my patio was actually burgundy and the furniture was red. So with those intermittent stripes, we were able to pull the tape off to reveal the stripe pattern that I wanted. And I can say myself that it came out pretty good. I just dreamed this up in my head, and I just prayed that it would come out right. And you'll see some little tie-dye effects with some where the paint bleeded through. But I still like the look of it because it made it look really rustic, and it made it look like, it's really creative. Now, as you can see, I had some pillows that I had on this patio as well. They'd been outside for a long time, and they were rotten and just were no good. But the stuffing was still good. So I decided to use some of my excess canvas that I had left over, and I decided I was going to make some pillow cushions covers out of them. Instead of covers, I'm going to make, complete pillows out of them. So it was just a matter of matching up the size to them and wrapping it around them. But I decided I wanted to spray paint these and have these in the same patterns as the big cushions are, and make it nice. And, I just wanted to be creative. Sometimes I get stressed out and I need something to do with my hands. So I just start dreaming up stuff and I go at it. Now, as you see right here, I like to be outside too. The doctor says that I suffer from seasonal depression. And so he told me what I needed to do, at least spend 30 minutes a day outside in the sun. If it's too cold outside, he said I should sit in my car, cut the heat on, and catch some sun. Or go by a window and catch some sun. And even on those dark, dreary days, if I don't have any sun, he also prescribed what I call a happy lamp. You can get it on Amazon. It's a lamp that shines UV rays at you, and I set it at my desk when I'm working, and it helps me feel better. So this is the reason why you see me doing a lot of work outside all the time, because I just need that sunlight. But here I'm taping off the covers for these pillows, and I'm going to spray paint them the same way I did that cover. And it was fun to do. It can be a little messy because that paint is very sticky. But I just love the way it turns out after I get it done. And the stripes are just so nice and neat. And I only decided to do one side of the pillow. The other side I left plain. So you can have that reverse effect if you want to flip the pillows over. I just like that. And I know you're wondering how I waterproof these. I purchased some Scotch Guard, and I Scotch Guard these cushions a good 3 or 4 times. Now, as for the seat cushion, I got a piece of plywood, and I had it cut to the size of the chair. And that large piece that I created, I laid it on the ground, and I had some foam pieces that were left over from that cushion. And I just doubled it up because I wanted it to be thicker than what it was. It was a little thin cushion. And I got my trusty staple gun, and I stapled those pieces around it and made a nice solid cushion. You can kind of see the little tie-dye effect in the cushion. And I think that looks cute. I think this makes it rustic and different. Meanwhile, the supervisor, the wee-wee, got tired of supervising and was going to sleep on me. She's my little buddy, but sometimes she falls asleep on the job. I don't know what I'm going to do with her. But I love it with my whole heart. So everybody say hi to the wee-wee. Now, as far as sewing, I'm not a seamstress. I do have a sewing machine, but I find that it's meditative to just sew by hand. So, the way I stitched these seams, I just did a basic in and out stitch. I did an in and out stitch. That means putting meeting the ends together and just going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I did it close on the inside of the seam so the stitches didn't show. And then I doubled back and went back the other way to make sure that the seams are closed. Now, for the other 3 seams on the other sides of the pillow, I literally put fabric in liquid fabric adhesive and glued them together, and then I sewed them together. That way I know that it's weatherproof. Now, I made it a bottom cushion. I needed to make a back cushion for that big chair. So I did the same process with another piece of canvas with the red and the burgundy. I sprayed out on the cushions again with the tape and peeling the tape back. I found that it was a whole lot of fun. Now, this particular day when I was working on this, I'm working outside, and the mosquitoes were treacherous, boy. So I hurried up and got done with this pattern. And once I got all of the tape off, I was back in the house. I got my little bit of sun for that day, and I was done. I find it satisfying when I do stuff myself instead of just going out and buying something and making it happen. It gives me comfort knowing that I put my hands to work and create something, and it makes me feel good. Tell me in your comments, do you like doing stuff by hand? Do you like homemade things? I love homemade things. I like to see other people's creativity. It's just something about somebody's handiwork that fascinates me, and I like my own handiwork myself. Now, I'm covering these pillows. These pillows, I could say, came out really good, and I tried to make them really tight. Now, this is the finished work of where they were done initially. Now, it looks too plain to me when I put the whole deal together. The color works well. It goes with the deck, and it goes with my other previous cushions. But as I was looking at this, I said it seems like it's missing a little flair. So I wanted to go back to the drawing board and do a little bit more with these cushions. So to do a contrast, I decided that I'm going to take some more of that canvas and keep it plain. But this particular canvas had a seam down the middle, which I thought was an interesting contrast instead of it being plain. So I made a plain pillow with the seam down the back for that contrast against those stripes. And I felt like that was going to make a good statement instead of it being just plain stripes all over the deck. I thought it would work out better. But then it was still too plain to me, just a plain beige pillow. So I had some strips where I cut off from that fabric where I had made the cushions, and it still had that striped effect on the end. So what I decided to do was make a rosette out of it. So all I did was grab one corner and rolled it until I could create what I thought looked like a rosette. And I stitched it together, and then I stitched it to the pillow. And that made a nice little pop to this beige pillow, and you see the seam. So it made the pillow look interesting instead of just a little plain beige pillow. And I feel like it's going to be a nice contrast with the set. So when I put it with the set, it came out perfect. I absolutely love that contrast with the plain with the stripes, and the stripes going different ways, and the contrast of the two colors. And it didn't take me no more than maybe a day or two to do all of this, and maybe about $50. And I was really pleased with the outcome, and I think I might do some more on this deck. I'll let you know.